Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber, and in this video I have another unboxing from thecubicle.com. In this package we have a very exciting puzzle that I've been looking forward to for many years, so I'm super excited to open it up and check it out. Okay, so we got some packing peanuts, so we'll just kind of brush those to the side. And it looks like it says ShengShou. So I think that's a sub-brand of ShengShou. We'll see. Alright, let's just take these out. Alright, there we go. Now I think we can get this out of here. Oh wow, it's got a handle on it and everything. Okay, so here we go. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is a ShengShou sub-brand. That is the ShengShou logo. So I don't know why it says ShengShou. Some kind of sub-brand or something going on there. I don't really know. But the puzzle in here that I am so excited about is finally, after all of these years, a mass-produced 12x12.
Finally!
So remember guys, we've had up through an 11x11 and then a 13x13, 15x15, and 17x17. The even layer ones have been left out for a while now, and I've been considering multiple ways to how I could acquire a 12x12. Before this, there weren't that many that existed in the world, and I had a plan to build one out of a 13x13, which is that 13x13 that's kind of been covered with duct tape. That was what my plan for that cube was, but just something that I never got around to. But now we finally have mass-produced 12x12 made by ShengShou, and it's stickerless, so I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see if we can open this up here. Okay, wow, that's very small. Look at that. And it looks like that's the only thing in the box. Definitely got some weight to it. All right, here it is. Okay, so of course the first thing we've got to do is count it up just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my, a real 12x12. This is exciting. So yeah, definitely a lot smaller than I was expecting. I think this is going to fit pretty well with the form factor of the 15x15. Let's go ahead and actually do a size comparison. So here's that cube. And it looks like the pieces are roughly the same size, if not the exact same size. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. Of course, it's going to look pretty weird when you add in the 13x13. So here's the 13x13. So once again, much bigger than the 15x15 and a whole lot bigger than this tiny little 12x12. This thing is actually probably smaller than a lot of 11x11s. So I've got two to compare with here. Here's the Yushin, and this one's massive. So once again, huge size difference between the 11x11 and the 12x12. And we've also got the ShengShou 11x11. Which is also really big. And then finally, another 11x11. The pillowed 11x11 from Yushin, the original one, is still massive compared to this tiny little 12x12. So it's definitely going to be kind of the odd one out along with the 15x15 in the collection. But I really don't mind because I still like big cubes, and it's pretty cool that we're actually getting big cubes that are small, which is kind of an oxymoron, but makes sense considering that cubing hardware has gotten better, so naturally the pieces would get smaller and more refined, which allows for smaller cubes. But at the end of the day, I still do love me some massive puzzles. So here is the 17x17 and the tiny little 12x12. Could they have made this 17x17 smaller? Probably. I don't actually know, considering the 15x15 is so small. Seems like you could do a much smaller 17x17, but this cube is awesome and I love it, so I don't care that it's big. All right, let's finally get onto this 12x12 now. First thing I'm noticing is that the pieces are actually matte, and what's weird is that it looks like some of them are matte and some of them are glossy. So if I get it in the light here, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And I don't know if that's true on every single face. It looks like it might be. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's definitely fascinating. Let's go ahead and turn it and see how it moves. Wow, okay. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and just test all the layers. Yeah, that moves really well for an even layer big cube. And I'm definitely not surprised to see this from the likes of ShengShou, because they make some great big cubes. So This feels weird to not be able to do a full checker, but because it's even, you can't really do it. I'll do a different checker a little bit right after I do this that is a bit more full. But there we go. That's just like your base checker that doesn't get the top and bottom. That looks really good, and it moves very, very well. So I'm very, very happy about that. Now, ShengShou also just came out with a 13 by 13. I would imagine that it's a similar form factor to this 12 by 12. So maybe I should get that to kind of replace the Moyu 13 by 13 in the lineup, so it's a little bit more consistent. Of course, we're still missing a 14 by 14, but I heard that ShengShou is also working on that, which makes sense as well. I'm honestly really not sure why Moyu didn't just start working on a 14 by 14 immediately after coming out with the 15 by 15, because you basically already have the mechanism. It actually makes sense that ShengShou released this 12 by 12 with their 13 by 13 because you have a 12 by 12 mechanism when you make a 13 by 13. So it only makes sense to release them together. So yeah, like I said, before this 12 by 12 came out, it was quite impossible to get one. The only ones that I knew of were the ones made by, I think Gregoire, or someone like that. I can't remember exactly who made one, but it was like a cubic 3D printed version from a long time ago. And then what I was going to do was make one out of a 13 by 13 by basically taking a Moyu 13 by 13, cutting away the middle layer, and then extending in the two layers next to the middle layer inwards to kind of fill that gap. And it would be like a slightly disproportional, very weird looking 12 by 12, but it would technically be a 12 by 12. So that was the plan. Never got around to it because I'm like chronically horrible at starting mods. But that was what I got that 13 by 13 for. And now that this is out, I don't know what I'm going to use that for. I'll figure something out, who knows. But yeah, I'm really happy that this is finally out. Once again, I wish it was black and squared off, but even if it was just black with stickers, I would prefer that, honestly. But it makes sense with these cubes with the tiny pieces to not want to do that because you would have stickers sliding off a lot more easily. So I get it, but again, I'm a big stickler with consistency and stuff like that, so it'd be nice if it was black with stickers to match everything else. Of course, with the outlier being the 17 by 17. So I just realized I totally forgot to do that bigger checkerboard. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just go through the process right here. So when you do it like this, you get almost a full checker on the top and bottom, and then a complete checker on the side faces. So it's about the closest you can get to a full checker on an even layered cube. But there it is. Yeah, that looks pretty great. Let's go ahead and scramble this cube up and see what it looks like. And I'm gonna go ahead and go through a solve and just kind of see how it performs, see if anything crazy happens. I haven't solved the higher order even layer puzzle in a little while, so yeah, I mean, obviously nothing crazy is really going to happen because I know everything that's going to happen, but it is just a bit of a different solve, so should be fun. Okay, so there's a bit of a scramble, and this looks really awesome scrambled. Something that I was just thinking about is that I think this cube is really going to appeal to people that want a big cube, but something that's not going to be too difficult to manage, and one that's not like that crazy amount of layers. I feel like a cube like this might be a little bit more accessible for someone that's starting out with big cubes, and one that's definitely a lot more portable as well. Something I will say though is that the turning is pretty much just okay. It's not that great actually. It's a bit slow. It is really smooth, but it does feel like it could lock. Just because the pieces are so small, I think it would be possible for them to pop out. Hopefully they won't break or anything, but it just seems like something I'm a little bit worried about. But overall, I think if you're careful, you're obviously really not going to have that many problems. But it's not like just super easy to move like even the 17 by 17 or the 13 by 13 is. These smaller, bigger cubes like this 12 by 12 and the 15 by 15 have been a little bit stiffer, not quite as buttery smooth. Like I said, this cube is smooth, but it doesn't have that same gliding, buttery feeling that the 13 by 13 has, which I think the 13 by 13 still has the best big cube turning, the original Moyu 13 by 13. That one's really hard to beat. But overall, I'm really happy with how this looks scrambled. The colors are very vibrant, they pop out a lot, and I think it's going to be a fun solve. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a solve off camera. I can't imagine it will take me that long. Probably will time it though, just to let you guys know, but I'm not going to be going for speed or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and estimate right now. I'm going to say 45 minutes for a solve for this. So I'll let you guys know what that time ends up being, because for you, it's going to be about 2 seconds. Okay, so we are back. The 12 by 12 is solved now. So the solve for this cube ended up taking 49 minutes and 11 seconds. So a little bit longer than I had predicted. It would have been very, very close to 45 minutes if I didn't mess up at all. I messed up on parity a few times, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't know why that happens, but sometimes it just happens for me with big cubes. If that didn't happen, it would have been like 46 minutes or something, but still relatively close to what I predicted. So yeah, overall the solve was not too bad. The turning got quite a bit better as the solve went on. Even though I didn't lubricate it or anything, the turning's actually quite a bit faster now, and it feels smoother overall. It was a little bit rough when I was scrambling it, but it feels actually quite nice right now. So I'm quite liking the turning on this. I think it actually turns better than the 15 by 15 overall. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of this puzzle. I think it's really nice. I did mention in the unboxing that I was worried that the cube might pop because the pieces are so small, and it just didn't feel, it felt like it had the potential to possibly pop. But I actually didn't have a single pop during the whole solve, which is really great, especially considering this cube has a whole bunch of internal pieces, which I'm not sure if you can really see, but because it's a even layered cube, there's a whole bunch of internals, but none of those popped out, which is great. That would have been a real pain to put back in, and none of the centers popped out or anything, so that's pretty great. It actually feels very, very stable. So yeah, if you guys are into big cubes, definitely be sure to check this one out. If you already have a collection, make sure to pick this one up to complete it. And if you're not into big cubes, I would still maybe recommend giving this one a shot if you have the money for it, because it's not that big. It's a good amount of layers. It doesn't take that long to solve. But overall, that's really about it for this ShengShou 12 by 12. Thanks, of course, to the Cubicle for sending me this cube for free to review and for sponsoring the video. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.